Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here for our little pregame gathering. Uh, we have our first exhibition day game, first day game of the season, and we apologize for this ugly weather. It's really very lucky. I'd like to say we have a special deal with where we play day games. We have beautiful weather, and but it's actually in this little microclimate that we live in. That's actually more. It's true more times than not that we have this kind of a great day for our fans and for the community of Giants followers. We are blessed with a number of special guests here today that'll be joining us for a special announcement, and wanted to especially welcome our special guests, and some of them you'll be hearing from later. Honorable Ed Lee, Mayor of the City and County of San Francisco. Honorable David Chu, President of the Board of Supervisors. Honorable Jane Kim, Supervisor for District 6. Port Commissioner Doreen Woo Ho. And Port Director, our landlord, Monique Moyer. And Port Commissioner, Kim Brandon. The reason we're here, and we are very excited. There's I think a skip to our walk today for many of us with the Giants and many of us that have been associated with the ballpark, including members of Monique's staff, many of whom are here today, even the port, is that we've been working for actually several years and intensely for the last 18 months with the City of San Francisco and the Port of San Francisco on a project that we sincerely believe will be one of the largest economic development projects, not just of this era, but of any era. And that is the site that you see right behind us here, known as Lot A, Parking Lot A, or more formally known as Seawall Lot 337, which is this the parking area, parking resource right behind us, the rectangular parking resource, as well as Pier 48, which is the first pier you see over here. The Giants take a lot of pride in this community because it's going to be our community forever. We're in a 66-year lease with options beyond, so we're not going anywhere. And from day one in the development of this ballpark, we have looked for ways to see that this neighborhood not just preserves its charm and its character, but can add to the economic viability and the economic potency of our city and our community. And as we all know in San Francisco, all good things take a while to materialize. And as I say, we've spent several years figuring out what would be the best way to create, really we say sometimes our back door, but in some ways this is a front door to our ballpark, the most economically strong, charming, in character, consistent with the use of a ballpark development for this neighborhood. And in recent years, we've been seeing the spectacular emergence of Mission Bay, the spectacular development of the entire China Basin region and south of Market. And what we've come up with today, and what you see represented in these pictures, is what we believe is an inspired mixed-use community featuring, for starters, a spectacular waterfront park with waterfront residences that will be draping around the park, an opportunity to have very, very economically strategic and important office use for tenants, especially the opportunity to have technology tenants come and join us in this region right here, which is burgeoning already with technology use. So to create innovative work environments, and then have a retail presentation with original shops and original San Francisco-based cafes along the lines of the Ferry Building, what's been done so spectacularly there, and also a refurbished historic pier, which we refer to as Pier 48. So as I say, we've been working for several years. Our partner, Cordish Company, which specializes in these urban mixed-use projects, we've been working on this project for several years. We have a timeline that suggests that we can begin, as we work through the arrangements with the port, we can begin in as soon as 2015. And this is a very, very exciting timeline for us because we want to get this going as soon as possible to achieve the economic development that's so vital to the city and to our neighborhood. To summarize the project, and then we'll turn it over to the mayor, we have approximately in a 27-acre parcel here, 8 acres of open space, which will include a grand waterfront park and a Mission Rock Square, which will be in the middle of residences and potentially office development, similar to those of you who've been to New York City and seen Bryant Park in New York City. Our initial plan calls for about 1,000 residential units, which would accommodate, give or take, about 2,000 people to actually live in this development. Office space, up to 1.7 million square feet of office space, an urban campus-like setting. I grew up in San Francisco, and I remember when Levi Plaza was unveiled decades ago. And in those days, that was an innovative and very active urban scape that really made a strong impact in San Francisco. And we see this as the 2015 version of Levi Plaza. Of course, very different but the same campus setting that you see in technology campuses around the country. Then about 125,000 square feet of retail and residential space where, as I say, local homegrown businesses can come and display their wares and offer great destination retail and residential, retail and restaurant and cafe opportunities. We'll have the opportunity to service people when they're coming to and from games, which is important, but we believe now with the burgeoning number of residential units in the area before this is built, and then when this is built, you'll be able to serve an increasing demand for a neighborhood opportunity for visitors and for residents, for cafes and stores and shopping that could be very in character with some of the neighborhoods that we know in San Francisco that are so popular, whether it's in the Noe Valley district or down in the Marina, et cetera. And then the rehabilitation of Pier 48, which we think provides spectacular opportunities to be consistent with the maritime activity of through the years, and also the possibility of local manufacturing businesses actually coming to Pier 48 and being consistent with the history of this community and the history of what our piers have been able to serve for the community. So we also believe that Pier 48 has the ability to take Moscone Center type opportunities that may be too small for Moscone Center, so trade shows and exhibition space, and be able to house gift shows and other opportunities at Pier 48. So really, in all, it is truly a mixed-use urban project that should have a lot of excitement, and that should be the connective tissue, if you will, between Mission Bay and the rest of the city for city residents and regional residents and tourists alike. But again, consistent with the feeling of a very in-character San Francisco project. So we're very excited. Today we're sort of kicking off the public unveiling of this project that we've been working on for a while. And as we have a gust of wind, we will bring the mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee, whose office has been incredibly supportive of this project and incredibly supportive of these sorts of economic development initiatives that are going to continue to make the city strong and vibrant. Mayor Lee. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Larry, and thank you to the whole Giants organization for presenting this proposal to our port and to our city. Let me say, I think our our city officials here, David, you and I were just talking earlier. We're going to stretch out our speeches because the longer we can do this, the more chance we have to catch one of those home runs this afternoon for those pitches. So we'll be out here for a long time, speaking very slowly, because it's worth it. First of all, thanks to the port commissioners that are here, to our supervisors that are here, our port staff, as well as our Office of Economic Development that's here as well. We're all going to work as a team, and that's something that certainly our Giants have taught us over many, many years of success. You work as a team, you're going to be able to do everything that you dream of. And one of the things I dream up the most is getting a lot of people a lot of jobs. Walking in here today and walking up the stairs and through the basement corridors of this stadium, you just saw so many people getting ready for the game, and you saw smiles on their faces. They're moving things around. They're smiling. They're saying, good morning, Mayor. How is it? How's it going? They've got jobs, and they're part of a great, successful organization. They know and they feel they're part of a vibrant city. And this proposal today adds another dimension to that. As Larry was talking, I was thinking through those years when Willie Brown was mayor and Gavin was mayor. We were creating that great Mission Bay Foundation. And now seeing across the bay, with all the cranes going up, the hospitals going up, all the other projects going up, that foundation was worth every effort and hustle that I was doing as the Department of Public Works, trying to get those permits out and get the infrastructure done and completed. And now we get to talk about Mission Rock. I mean, what a solidly great contribution this whole development is going to be. And I want to emphasize that as we construct this vision, we're going to create immediately 4,800 construction jobs right here on this development for the next years to come. It has the potential of impacting an additional 4,900 jobs throughout the whole city during the construction phase. And when it's complete, in just a few years, 6,900 permanent jobs can be had literally on the site to complement all the jobs that have been being created already with AT&T Park and the success around the Giants and their organization. I've often talked about not only jobs, I've talked about the spirit of this city and how we need to make sure that the city is investor confident and investment friendly. And to see that the Giants organization is leading a whole Seawall Lot 337 association of businesses to invest in the Seawall Lot, and to see people like Kathy Simon and others on the team who just this weekend, we opened up Dolores Park, the children's playground, to hundreds of kids, and now to visualize how the kids from AT&T Park and the kids from Dolores are all going to be coming down here in just a few short years, enjoying these great 8 acres of open space onto the waterfront, one of the most beautiful waterfronts you've ever seen in your whole life. That's going to be fulfilling a promise of what the port's been talking about for many years, investing in our land here to some of the most beautiful views that the city has to offer. 1.7 million square feet of office space and retail space, to be inviting even more companies, whether they're biotech or they're technology companies, to have their employees working here, again, in such beautiful surroundings. Such beautiful surroundings, like I think David whispered, we ought to make today's weather a condition of the EIR, right? That's going to be a permanent part of the EIR, Larry, so get ready. It's just going to be in the plan, be right there, one phrase. That's me. And then to see the 125,000 square feet of retail space, as Larry's absolutely right, and they've been such a leader in inviting local businesses to participate in this very successful stadium. We'll do the same thing with SF Made and some of the other organizations that are helping me push local manufacturing, local restaurants, local food, local hiring, of course. But it's not just hiring, it's the creativeness and innovation of our own residents and the people who've made a stake in this city that want to be part of this success. I have every faith that we'll work as a team, Larry, with the port, with the commission leadership of President Ho, with our economic committee of people and staff, and work with the Board of Supervisors and the Planning Department, Public Works and the Building Departments to get through this and not to have the traditionally tortuous process, but to welcome in something that I think everyone from the day one is saying, great, great concept. And not only that, I think to have it backed up by a very successful, not just baseball franchise. The Giants have signaled to us years ago, they're more than just a successful baseball team ownership. They want to be a successful business partner with the city, a successful corporate citizen with the city, a successful philanthropist, as they've shown time and time again, and just yesterday with their Community Giants Fund and the Giants Junior Baseball. They're a part of our lives. They're a part of what we think about in San Francisco when I get to say to other mayors across the country, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I'm from San Francisco, home of the Giants, not just the baseball team. They're now part of the whole outlook of what we see as investor confident cities struggle to find their partners in the private sector to build with. So as you look through this and as you get excited as I am and see the exciting spaces that are being created, you'll also be reminded that a historic pier, Pier 48, is about to be refurbished, again, honoring for years what the port has challenged many people to do in events after events that have been hosted here, is help us revitalize our whole port property, inviting more people to use it, as we've done with places like Fort Mason, a complement to our whole convention and tourist business that is still our #1 business in the city, and offering even more exciting spaces to have that happen, and getting more tenants, short-term and long-term, to occupy that, and positive experiences throughout the whole thing. This is a fulfillment of several mayors, from Dianne Feinstein when she first began here and said Mission Bay was worth the investment, through Frank Jordan, Art Agnos, and Willie Brown and Gavin Newsom and all of us saying this is all worth it. We just have to make sure that the teams here know they've got the backing of the city to really perform this, and so the investors need to know that we're an investment-friendly town. We want to build on our success. We want to get more people the jobs that they deserve here, and this will be a huge, huge job creator. Giants and associates, thank you very much for presenting this to us. This really excites us, and I know that everybody has their hopes up for this to be successful. We'll all be there as the great team that we know you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I would add as a footnote that, as the mayor said, several mayors, several administrations have been part of the ballpark process and part of the development of Mission Bay, but no administration has been more focused on jobs and economic development than Mayor Lee's administration, and we are very, very grateful to you for that. Another consistent supporter of this project and of all that we're trying to do to develop the city in a responsible way has been the President of the Board of Supervisors and our good friend, President David Chu. David?
Yeah. Thank you, Larry. So I did have a half-hour speech prepared so that we could delay getting back to City Hall, but I will cut that short. And I did joke to the mayor that we should bake weather into our environmental impact reports. I just want to state that is a joke, but I do think that today's weather, the wind that is going to knock down the sails of the America's Cup, the sun that will shine not just on this ballpark, but on the millions of people that will sit and enjoy this future project, I don't think we can take that for granted. We are blessed to live in one of the most beautiful natural amphitheaters in the world. And this is why I'm so happy to be part of this amazing announcement. This announcement in part is about how we create and build another Field of Dreams. How is it that we take an empty parking lot and turn it into part of a 21st century waterfront? When some of the Giants organization approached me last year, and I want to thank Jack Baer and some of your colleagues for presenting this vision to me, I was frankly blown away. The vision of housing, of amazing retail, of one-of-a-kind tourist and residential and San Francisco experiences, I think really is unparalleled. And this is why I'm so proud to be part of the city team, that we be working closely with the Giants to move this forward. We've had a lot of conversations in recent months about what we should do about our waterfront. And we know that we have amazing opportunities and a handful of challenges. But I think together, as we always do, we will work as a team. I know I look forward to working with my colleague, Jane Kim, from District 6, and all of my colleagues. I know I look forward to working as a representative from San Francisco to BCDC. The Giants right now have recently gone through spring training, and I know that where this project is, they have vetted it. They have done a lot of work to make sure that we've thought it through, but we have a lot of work to do. And I look forward to working with our mayor, working forward with city staff, and working with all of our players throughout the city and the Bay Area to turn this Field of Dreams into reality and hopefully to hit a real home run with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Chu. They're not out in the field yet. You didn't take us into the first inning. Okay. One of the great things about San Francisco is we have a real focus on the neighborhoods and the districts, and we have representatives who are elected by districts and are focused on their constituents. And proud to say that we have a wonderful district supervisor in the district where we play ball and where we look to be constructing soon, and that is Supervisor Jane Kim. Supervisor Kim.
So I have the honor of representing this amazing district, District 6, which the Giants consider their home base. And it's really great to have a business and a company and an organization here in the city that loves the city as much as we do and that contributes a lot. And I do want to thank the Giants. You do support a lot of our neighborhood-based organization and our communities. It was great to see you at St. Anthony's a month ago as we celebrated the groundbreaking of what will soon be affordable housing for our seniors and a great new meals kitchen for our community. And it's important to have partners like this that care and are passionate about our city. I have the honor of representing one of the older neighborhoods in San Francisco, but it also happens to be our emerging neighborhoods, the South of Market and the Mission Bay. And it's a lot of fun to be the supervisor of this district because we have, a lot to work with, and we're kind of drawing the neighborhoods. And so one of the priorities of this district is developing complete neighborhoods, neighborhoods that bring in infrastructure, whether it's streetscaping that encourages pedestrians and bikers, and our public transit, that builds open space, something that is incredibly important, I know, to this neighborhood right here. And of course, contributing to mixed income housing, whether it's to our affordable housing fund or actually constructing affordable housing. And that's the type of development that we look for here in the city. I'm really excited to work with the Giants. I know that they're dedicated and committed to the city, and they want to bring what our neighborhoods and our communities would like to see. This is a tremendous amount of space sitting behind us with a ton of potential to both create jobs and make our neighborhoods safer and, as I said before, more complete. And so I look forward to working with our mayor, to our board of supervisors, and of course our Giants to hopefully bring this development home here. So thank you so much for having me here. I also look forward to working with our incredible port and their commission. They also have a ton of exciting developments that are happening here on the waterfront, and I think that this really ties all of this in together. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Kim. As the supervisor was speaking, I was reminded of a conversation I had recently with an executive of a Silicon Valley-based firm. I won't mention the name of the company, but it's a company that is one of the sort of transformational companies in our world today. And this individual said, I understand we're in the South Bay and that's where our headquarters is, but I have to give you a statistic. 48% of our workers actually live in the city and county of San Francisco, and they shuttle down. And I got to believe that a lot of them live in Supervisor Kim's district. And they love being part of the urban scape that is San Francisco and enjoying the amenities. And I think that this project, in many ways, is dedicated to just enhancing the urban scape of San Francisco for so many people, whether they work in San Francisco or down the peninsula. And as the mayor said, the job creation that this project affords is a very, very powerful thing for all of us. We would not be able to function at this ballpark or with this project without the cooperation and the wonderful support and guidance of the Port of San Francisco, who is our landlord. And we have the president of the Port Commission here, and would like to introduce her to you now, Doreen Wu Ho, president of the San Francisco Port Commission. Hey, Doreen, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. I have been involved with the Port Commission. I think it's coming up almost on a year. And I hadn't any idea, I guess, Mayor, that how exciting it was going to be with so many things going on the waterfront. I've just come back with the Executive Director, Monique, and I were in a international waterfront symposium in Auckland. And our city certainly stood well in terms of all the amazing waterfront developments around the world. And I guess it reminded me that, obviously we're more than just a working port here. And this project epitomizes what's going on in terms of waterfront development. And I think it's going to be a project that will be watched not only here in San Francisco for all the benefits that you heard that our mayor and Larry Baer and President David Chu and Supervisor Kim talk about what it's going to do for us here locally, but I think it will be recognized as a major international project. It certainly is one of the biggest that the port has ever done. And I think as such, from the standpoint of how it ties in with the rest of the waterfront, and we have so much, we're blessed with the fact that we do have 7.5 miles to develop, and with all the different opportunities in terms of open space and the maritime activities and everything else. And this is it sounds to me like the most ambitious project that has been done, but it ties in with so many of the objectives of the master plan of the port. And I think we're very excited to be engaged with such great partners as the Giants. And we look forward not only in terms of this development, but also in terms of how it's going to forge, I think, a new business model in terms of the partnership and the teamwork that we will do here, and the benefits that both the port, the city, the community, as well as the Giants will accrue from this project. So we're very excited to engage further in dialogue. There is, as both everybody has said before, a lot of work to be done. We're excited to see this launch, and we're ready to sit down and talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, President Ho. We have a pact that it's going to be sunny for every announcement and for every moment that we're open here, so we got to get the sun back. I think it's coming. That's just a temporary cloud. We have been, as has been mentioned, we have been in active day-to-day working relationship with the Port of San Francisco, and we're very fortunate to have leading the port staff the port director, Monique Moyer, as our person who we work with day to day. And Monique would like to say a few words.
Thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. It is my great honor to be here, standing on the shoulders of not just the mayor and the former administrations, the president of the board and its former administrations, and obviously the long history of the Port Commission. We are almost on our 150th birthday. In 2013, we will mark 150 years as a port, which is a record, trust me. And here we are doing what we do best in San Francisco, which is once again reestablishing ourselves, redirecting ourselves, re-identifying ourselves, and figuring out how to do what other cities in the world are still trying to figure out how to do, which is to marry a working waterfront with a neighborhood. And I want to just echo what everyone has said here so far. Most importantly, I think what Larry Baer said, this is a gateway site. It is not a front door, it's not a back door, it's not a side door. It is in fact a circleway site because it will continue to be that entry from the waterfront as we bring people through on ferries and other modes of transportation, hopefully water taxis, as well as by land and by foot. And it will enhance not only the central waterfront and pull people from the ferry building, but it will continue our goal of moving to the southern waterfront, and it will continue to build on the private investments that have been made so generously by the Giants and others so far, and are soon to be made at Pier 70. And so this this site has everything to offer. You heard from President Chu exactly what his thoughts were. You heard from Supervisor Kim. And on behalf of the port, we couldn't be more proud to work with such an amazing team that the Giants and Cordish and companies have assembled, as well as our governmental team and our neighbors. And we look forward to welcoming you back here very quickly, to see for yourselves how once again we can make news and make a newly refurbished waterfront in San Francisco. And so I thank you for that, Larry, and all of the Giants for your dedication and investment on our behalf.
Thank you so much, Monique. I think the best way to do this, and there are probably going to be some questions, and the Giants team, certainly the mayor and Supervisor Chu, Supervisor Kim, President Ho, and Port Director Moyer will be available to answer any questions you might have. We'll probably take those offline. I might mention we'll be able to show you, and especially with this graphic over here, some of the initial ideas of where some of the residential might go and where some of the office might go, and ideas for the piers. So if we have any questions along those lines, we'll take them offline. And we invite any of you. Your possession is 9/10 of the law. You're in the ballpark now. So any of you that want to stay for the ball game, we invite you to stay, and we'll have accommodations for you here for the 12:45 San Francisco Giants Oakland A's game. Thank you for being here, and look forward to communicating with you in the future about this project. Thank you.